Welcome to another episode of Journey to the Rise. I'm your host, Lucretia. In today's episode, we talk with Denikka Danyell. This is a driven woman who attributes her success to truly not knowing any better. She was surrounded by strong male role models, entrepreneurs, and that influence gave her an incredible work ethic. And she took her gifts, talents, and education, and she has created an incredibly successful career for herself. Denikka has a commitment to excellence, and her attention to detail and being truly a kind, considerate, and fun person has brought her opportunities and blessings that has shaped her an amazing career. Let's just not wait any longer and let's get into this conversation. Please welcome my guest, Denikka Danyell. 4 or 5. It had to have been something like that, yeah. And then, because I was trying to remember like all the times that we used to go out with Ernie.
Right. That's why I went to Ernie, and I'm like, that's when I met her. I think I started working with her when I moved back from St. Louis around 2005, 2006, somewhere in there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now what do you want me to do? I'm sorry. Okay.
Don't be
tell
sorry.
me what I need to do with my phone.
What you're doing right now is perfect.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And all I'm going to do is pull up your questions. And then, so when I go into post, I'll do a little bit more of a detailed introduction about you and who you are. And so today I'll just do like a quick little blurb before we kick off and I start tossing questions at you.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So whenever you're ready. You ready for me?
Sure.
All right. This woman has an incredible resume. She has worked with Delta Airlines, Dior, Ludacris, Shaq, Drake. I mean, I could go on and on. Her list of credentials would basically take up an entire podcast. She's a busy woman running her own salon, working on sets for film, music, photographers, so much more. And I'm so grateful that she is willing to take some time out for us today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk with us.
Oh, it is an honor and a pleasure. You are an old friend. We go way back.
I know. I'm grateful for that.
Yes. Thank God for you.
Thank God for you. I want to start with you as a little kiddo. Where did you grow up?
Oh, well, I grew up in a little town called Nashville, Tennessee, in a community called Inglewood,
Okay.
which is on the east side of town. So, yeah, I grew up in Nashville, and it was really, really good for me because Nashville is a place where it was a really small town back then, and everybody knew everybody, and it was just a little country town. Yeah, country. I say country, but just a little country town, and it was very well-rounded.
Yeah.
It was like a progressive type of town.
Mm-hmm.
Going really well.
And what was it like with your family? Like, were you close with your family? Like, what was it about your childhood that you feel shaped you for your future?
Well, my family were educators and hardworking, like, individuals and pillars in the community and all that type of stuff. So I grew up around entrepreneurs. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. All my uncles were entrepreneurs and had good jobs and all sent their kids to school. So I just grew up around educators and entrepreneurs. So
Wow.
It's just kind of like fell in my lap, I guess, because I didn't know I was going to do what I do now, really. It's just a lot of stuff that I do now I didn't really know that I would be doing.
Yeah. And I read that you pursued your cosmetology license at 15 and then you got your license at 17. What was the inspiration that made you want to pursue that goal as a teenager?
So when I was 15 years old, I was attending a technical high school. So we had to choose certain electives in order to, for our classes. And so those electives were like, they were like home ec, like the cooking class, and then you had cosmetology, which was the hair, makeup, and all that. And then you had like a wood cutting or forget the little wood, the little whatever it was that all the guys took, the little construction class and all that. And we even had a class for daycare. We had like a daycare class for people who wanted to, babysit kids, because a lot of those girls that I went to school with, they had kids. So I chose cosmetology, and just wind up having a knack for it. And so I went home one day and begged my grandparents for the money for the kid, and she didn't want to buy it, and I begged her, and she paid $150 for it, and no more than 2 or 3 years later, she told me that was the best investment she ever made, because she knew that, I guess, she always told me I was a beauty doctor, and I never thought. She said, "You're a beauty doctor." I said, "No, I'm not." So, I just discovered that I could do hair and makeup and, be successful in the beauty industry. And so when I graduated high school, I had enough hours to go to the state board, and that's how I became a licensed cosmetologist at 17 years old, right after I graduated.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And I love that you had someone in your life who believed in you so much. And I think it says a lot about a person when you have that support to pursue something.
Yeah, I would imagine it makes a huge difference, because it's just it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking, and you want anybody, you just want your people to be productive in life, and so yeah, it made a big difference, because I saw her do. I was around that. I was around a lot of hardworking, people. So.
Yeah. And how has your grandfather influenced your life?
My grandfather influenced my life by being a good grandfather.
Aww.
By just, taking care of my grandmother, and just being a man, and paying cash for his homes, and saving his money, and working, for just, really good companies. And he was a real man. When he grew up, he didn't have a family. So he was from a small town, place called Town Creek, Alabama. And so when he left there, he went to Nashville, and then that's where he met my grandmother at like 18, and then the rest is history. But he was just an amazing man. So just having a good father figure around me at all times. My dad was a good man, and having my grandfather around, and I had a good great grandfather. I remember my great grandfather. He worked at the railroad, and he would walk his money to the bank. If it was $5, he would walk all the way to the bank to put $5 in the bank. So
wow.
Just back then, it was just, that's the kind of men that I were around.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you have your cosmetology license at 17. Did you go to college, or did you start a career as a hairstylist?
Yeah, I attended college. I have an associate's degree, a small business, an SBA in business, and I have a BS in communications.
Wow.
So, yeah, I have 2 degrees.
That's amazing. And did you go to TSU, Tennessee State University?
I did. I graduated from Tennessee State, and I graduated from Nashville State.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what was it about TSU that made you want to attend that university?
Well, my father became 100% disabled, so he told me that the VA would pay for me to go and get a college degree. That was the only reason, because I was already successful as a hairstylist.
Wow. And In one of your Instagram posts, you say, "I'm a freelance hairstylist, but I work in my own salon." What steps did you take to get where you had your own salon?
Many. It takes many steps.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a lot of work. You just have to first write a business plan, figure out what type of business you want to have, what type of salon you want to have. I wanted to have a specialty salon, so my salon specialized in hair extensions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you go and you learn about that, and you cater to that, and then you like I was able to use my education from Tennessee State to apply it to my business. At the same time, I was getting a business degree, my associate's degree from Nashville State, and then when I transferred to Tennessee State and got a bachelor's degree in communications, I was able to use everything that I learned there and apply it to my business.
Wow.
So I learned to incorporate like public service announcements, or just when I would go on television and talk of the town, and do like a segment on TV and do like a beauty segment. So I was able to take the communication skills from school and apply those to my business. So for me, it just kind of came together. I don't know how, you just do it. You just have to put in some work.
Right. And figure it out along the way. And what kind of challenges did you face getting your own salon? Because there's stylists who go their whole career without ever owning their own salon.
Well, what kind of challenges?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the challenges. I didn't have a challenge. I'm still working in Nashville. I had to downsize because I live in Atlanta now, but I've never had any challenges with it. As far as like becoming official, you just need to go through the state and make sure it's official, and you get your inspection. And I mean, you want to make sure that everything is, you want to have a real business. I would say that. I know there's a lot of fraudulent people, or people that do fraudulent things, but make sure your business is legit and registered and all of that. But I mean, I guess everybody's different. When you're an entrepreneur, you just create in the way that you want to create it.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more from our guest, Denikka. In talking to her about her success, she shares how being likable and approachable is the most down-to-earth, simple way to succeed at networking and making connections that can help you build your business.
So I was already freelancing, and so when you know people, so I guess it's through networking. So networking and just, mainly networking. Mainly networking.
To stand out on social media and the internet, for a business to grow, you need branding images that help express who you are and what you represent. Being a driven business owner, you already know your audience needs to see your brand show up on a regular basis before they will trust you enough to work with you. If your current messaging is inconsistent and lacks cohesiveness, then your customers will scroll past instead of click and look more into what you have to offer. With a branding photo session with Girl Boss Photography, you can tell your story through images. Utilizing those images in your marketing and content strategy will enhance your appearance and help build a connection to your existing and potential clients. Girl Boss Photography loves working with small and medium-sized businesses to help them build a strong visual brand. By partnering with creative entrepreneurs, listening to their goals, Girl Boss Photography curates a branding session that will tell the story of who you are, what you do, and how you are there to help your clients. If you are wanting to grow your business, improve your online presence, contact Girl Boss Photography to find out more about your options with their branding packages. Send a message on Instagram at girl.boss.photography today. Have you been stagnant in the growth of your business? Would you like to see an increase of your revenue goals? Show your clients you are an authority in your industry with a video docu-series, photography, and content strategy package with Girl Boss Productions. A video series will help customers get to know you and allow you to build a relationship with people who want to support you. Using video on your website and in your marketing content, you can increase conversions by 80%. By enhancing your presence on social media and your website with an updated and stylish photos, you can zhuzh up your marketing content. Grab the attention of your clients, and they will give a little bit more time to read your post instead of scrolling past it. Utilizing video, photos, and a content strategy all in one package will promote your business to existing and potential clients. Help develop a relationship with those clients who want to support you, which will result in increased sales. If you'd like to know more about how you can enhance your business with video, contact girlbossproductions.com today. Welcome back to Journey to the Rise. We continue our conversation with Denikka. Anyone who has been to a stylist knows not all stylists can work with a variety of textures and thicknesses of hair. It takes time to build that skill. This woman has been working with hair since she was 15. She has put in the time and the hard work and has that rare ability and skill to work with any hair type and to do it well. Yet, despite this skill set, she continues to learn to maintain and enhance her talent. And so you grow a thriving business in Nashville, and like you just mentioned, you had a change of scenery. What made you leave Nashville and go to Atlanta?
My husband.
Aww.
Yeah. My husband.
And what steps did you take to build your clientele in this whole new city?
What steps did I take? I really just kind of, what steps did I take? I don't know. Again, just hard work.
Yeah.
I started out renting a suite and started building a clientele and working in the salon loft here. And then I said, no, I need to do something else. So I was already freelancing, and so when you know people, so I guess it's through networking. So networking and just, mainly networking, mainly networking. And if they like you, you're fortunate, you know. So because it's all about, people liking you. You want to be likable. You want to be friendly and personable and relatable and approachable, and you want to be all those things because that you're around people. So
yeah,
you can't just not be have like a personality. You gotta have to have your own personality. People will remember you, and they'll remember that, and they'll either want to work with it or they won't.
Right.
So.
And you're very, very personable. You have a vibrant personality. It is magnetic, but you also are very kind. I think that's probably another reason why you have been successful, is because you're authentic to who you are, but you're also a very kind person. Do you think that makes do you think that makes a big difference in the hairstyling world?
I think it's like a catch-22, just being honest. Because people can, of course, like the old saying goes, take your kindness for weakness, so, but even though people may take advantage of you because you're kind, you still gain more by being kind anyway. Mm-hmm. So, just being nice and kind, you automatically win by being that way and having that type of spirit. So, you just, you just focus on that. You don't focus on anything else. So, yeah, it definitely makes a huge difference.
and from your post and looking at your portfolio, you have this ability to work with different textures of hair, and you do it really well. I have been told by stylists that that is extremely challenging. Do you find working with different hair texture, does that come easy to you?
Well, yeah, it kind of does come easy when it just really depends on what I'm doing, what the concept is for the project or something like that. But I mean, just textures of hair, I mean, I've been working with hair. Let's just say hair. I've been working with hair since I was 15 years old. So 14, you had to be a sophomore at my school, and at the age of 15, you should be a sophomore. So that was when I started taking cosmetology. So I've been literally working with all textures of hair since the age of 15. So to say the least, like I can work with any texture of hair because I'm now 45 years old. For a long time.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of easy, but I still like to learn. I'm always learning. So I'm always learning from the top, like, hairstylists in the world. Like, I look at those guys. And so, there's, even though you may be capable of working with all textures of hair, you still need to keep up and refresh your skills on the actual texture of hair. Yeah. So there's so much stuff that you can continue to learn.
Mm-hmm. I think having that curious nature and wanting to learn says a lot about you as a person, and I think that also shows why you have been successful, because you haven't just said, oh, I know it all. Like you said, you keep learning and you try to learn from the best. I think that speaks volumes about you and your character.
Yeah, I just like to look at, because if you follow greatness, then you'll get really close to achieving greatness.
I love, that's beautiful. That is very beautifully well said. And speaking of greatness, you have a very impressive resume. How do you feel you've created, do you feel you've created your own luck, or how do these opportunities come to you?
Well, I think any freelancer will have a pretty nice resume if they, have worked in the industry for, like I have, over 10 years, right? So I think at that point, it's just like, what type of work does that person specialize, or that person, like what type of work does that person like to do? So for me, what I like to do is the type of work that I put out. So I tend to get more work like the work that I put out, which is the beauty type of work, and the commercial, lifestyle, print and editorial type of work. So because I like that type of work, I'm not putting out like the reality makeup type work, or the avant-garde or special effects type work. So I tend to get more work like the work that I put out, and it's just enabled me to work with like the most amazing individuals in the industry. So, it's just a blessing for me. I'm just grateful to serve and do what I'm gifted to do. So all the names, when you were saying the names, I'm thinking, wow, I did work. That is truly, but I don't ever really think about it. For me, it's a trip. It really is. I have to update my resume, and every time I go back and update my resume, I always look at it like, dang, okay, I don't know. It gets a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
But when you really look at it, but I don't ever really look at it like that.
Right. You're just facing forward and going on to the next project. How did you get to work with Maria Taylor?
Through an agent. So I met this agent, the lady. She owns an agency. She was working with Maria on a regular basis, and she is in Houston. So Maria, of course, was here in Atlanta and was needing hair and makeup. So she reached out to me, and asked me was I available, and I was, and so I worked with her. My first gig with her was with the Super Bowl. I forget which one, but we had to go to Georgia Tech in Athens, and we performed this commercial for the Super Bowl. She did like some photos for it. I think she did some speaking too, but then so that was the first job with her, and then I did another one with her, and Joey Galloway, and it was another football player, like a commentator. I can't think of his name. And that was like a Mercedes Benz commercial. And then she asked me if I would go to the NFL draft with her in Nashville because I'm local in Nashville, and I was like, yes. So I went with her and did her hair and makeup for her at the NFL draft in Nashville. So I worked with her for a while, and then she got married and moved to LA. So she's not here in Atlanta much anymore, but yeah, she was a really good client. I enjoyed working with her.
What was it like to be at the NFL draft?
Oh my gosh, being at the NFL draft and being Maria Taylor's hair and makeup artist was a dream because we had access to just, we didn't have to. We were escorted in on, like on golf carts. We just didn't have to, and we were on top of like all of the rooftops, and she was of course doing her thing, and I was making sure she looked amazing, and I mean it was a dream.
Wow.
It was truly. And then she was interviewing everybody, and I'm right there, recording behind the scenes, and it was a dream job. It was truly a dream. And then Nashville's hotel, it was at the one that they just built. Oh God, well, they just built a couple of them. But,
I was gonna say there's quite a few to choose from.
It's the big one right there in front of the convention center.
Oh,
is that the J?
I think so. I seriously can't keep track of all that they're building there.
Yep. So it was really nice. It was really nice.
And then, what was it like to work with UFC champion Amanda Leoa?
Oh my gosh. I had to work with her and like 3 others for that particular project. But she was the one out of all 4 of them, she was the one that offered me tickets to the show.
Oh,
so she gave me tickets. Her and we actually went to go see the fight. I got there a little late, but she was nice. She was so nice and so down to earth and so just humble and sweet, and her wife was there, and she was one of the fighters too, but they were just sweet. They were really, really nice. She was so nice.
That's incredible. Do you like to be on set or in your salon more?
Well, at this stage in my life, I enjoy being on production sets more. But I'm blessed to be able to go back to my salon suite that's on it's off of Music Row downtown in Midtown Nashville, downtown Nashville. So I enjoy being able to go back to my suite and see my clients and see my family.
Yeah.
That's a really good like family time for me when I get to go home, and I work on the weekends and in my little suite. But I much rather be out on a production set.
What is it about being on a production set that you love?
It is well, I love it because it's different. It's always something different. For me, it's always something different. We're always, like you mentioned in my resume, it's not like TV or film, which is still, those are different. You can have different genres in that too, but it's always a different project. So it's never the same. But I like TV. I've day played in TV too, but it's long hours and you're doing the same looks over and over and over. With production, you get, it could be a music video, it could be a editorial print magazine shoot, it could be working on a corporate project, with McKesson Corporation like I just did, or It could be working with hip hop 50th anniversary and working with, Young Jock and, Bone Crusher and all of those guys from the, 2000s, type of project. So it's just always something different. That's why I like production.
Yeah. And you have a post on your Instagram that states, if your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. Do your dreams scare you?
Yeah, my dreams, yeah, they do. And that's, I think, why I keep achieving the type of, everything that goes on, that I'm the fruits of my labor. I think that's why I'm always, in awe when I look at what I'm doing.
Why do you think it's important for dreams to scare those who have goals and dreams?
Oh, probably because if your dream doesn't scare you, then you're not dreaming big enough. Your dream needs to be so enlightening that you're just drawn to it. That, like, that's all that you see is that that beautiful place, or whatever it is, or wherever your happiness is, that's where you need to just dream big right in that little space, and let God do the rest.
Absolutely. How did the pandemic affect your business? And then how did you bounce back from it?
Oh, the pandemic, we just sat down. We didn't do anything. My husband stayed in the house. So I came out. My first job was in July of 2020. So, but we didn't do anything for a long time. And that still was, that was a short film. And I worked in a place called Barnesville, Georgia for 2 weeks. So we were quarantining at this hotel, but we were filming for 2 weeks, and it went really well. And the movie's out, and it's on Tubi, and it's good.
Nice.
But yeah, we just sat down, and I just pivoted to just waiting till it was time to come back out, and slowly the job started picking back up, and people started calling.
Yeah. What's the name of the movie that's now on Tubi?
You would ask me. Oh my gosh. You would ask me, what is the name of that movie? And I know it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my gosh.
Good thing this is recorded.
It should be on my. It's on my Instagram.
Is it? Okay, I'll go look on your Instagram.
Let me see. Hold on. It's probably way down though. That's gonna get on my nerve. Oh my god. What was the name of that movie we did?
I have to appreciate that you've been so busy with different productions that you can't remember the name of it.
Well, and I know it, and it's so crazy. I know, it's oh my gosh, Mediator. It's called. Yes, there it is. Here, I'm gonna send it to you.
Please, yeah.
It's good too. And I did all the hair in this movie.
Wow.
Let me see. Let me send it. What is your? If you pop up. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Yep. So, yeah, Mediator. Mm-hmm.
And from your posts, it's obvious that you empower people, men and women. Why do you feel that is so important?
Well, because you're going to influence people one way or another, so it's better to be a positive influence. So,
Mm-hmm.
you have choices in life, and so you need to choose wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just enjoy being positive. So,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully people can, be inspired or be motivated by by what I'm putting out, because you know, that's important.
Yeah. And what inspires you to keep going?
Oh, what inspires me to keep going? I'm spiritual, so for me, it's just the Lord is working through me. He's using me to do His job and His will. So I'm just, when He tells, when He know He'll whenever when the Lord tells me I'm done, then that's when I'll know I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm just inspired by God. Like He just his beauty, like his goodness, his everything, just just inspires me to keep going. So yeah, because my closest people to me, a lot of those people have passed, so you can't say, oh, my grandmother inspires me, or my dad, or you know what I mean. So I'm inspired by good people and good things, and all things good, because like the Bible says, all things work out for good.
Yeah.
For those who love Him. So that's just what inspires me. It's just all the good stuff.
You have a lot of good stuff going on, and you are always very well put together. That takes time. How do you manage? You must be very good at time management, because you're always very elegant and beautiful and very well put together. And then you go off and help other people become glamorous and beautiful. How do you make time for you to always look? Because that takes time. Just me getting ready for this podcast today, I was thinking about that. I'm like, how does she do it? Because I'm out of breath.
Well, funny is, so today I got up and went to yoga. I try to go to yoga at least every day, but I, of course, can't make it every day, so it's more like every other day. But so I got up and went to my yoga class, and it was at 12 o'clock today. So when I got home, it was like 1:30, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I know I need to get myself together for this podcast. So I was worried. I was thinking, and I'm on Eastern time zone, so I'm like, am I late? Is it 1:30? Is it 2:30? So I was like, I didn't know what time. Make a long story short, I'm thinking I'm taking forever, and I'm running way behind, and you're like, oh, it's at 3:30 Central Time. I'm like, oh, praise God, 2:30. I was like, oh, praise God, so but I am, when it comes to a job, or like, I am all about keeping my word. If I'm just all about my word, so, I just, and it doesn't really take me long to get ready. My mom has taught me how to just, like, less is more. So even though, like, I had 15 minutes to talk to you, because I'm thinking I had to be on the phone with you like at 1 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock, and it was 2 o'clock here, but 1 o'clock there, and I'm thinking I had to be on the phone with you. I had already eaten, taken a shower, and put my makeup on. So I was like, oh my God. But yeah, no, yeah, it takes a little time, but it doesn't require much. You don't need to do much.
Yeah.
So.
And you mentioned you specialize in hair extensions. What was it that drew you to want to make that your specialty?
I think when I was working at a salon in Nashville, and I saw how popular they were, and how popular they were, how they made your hair look, and then of course how lucrative it was. I was just like, okay, let me learn more about hair extensions, and so I did.
Nice. And what do you feel is the benefit to people who get hair extensions? For those who don't know, or have never had them, or considering getting hair extensions, what do you feel is the benefit behind hair extensions?
You give your hair a break. Wearing extensions is form of protection for your hair if done properly to give your hair a break, because our hair sheds every day from combing, brushing, running our fingers through it, whatever. Our hair just is going to shed automatically 50 to 100 strands a day. So when you have your hair in some type of extension, say even if it's like diffusion, which is a strand by strand, which can tend to be hard on your hair, but if it's again done right, your hair can still grow really well, and your hair will grow like a quarter of an inch up to a month. So that's giving your hair a break from just the stress of wearing it in the ponytail all the time, or whatever people do that causes their hair to just like thin. So it can, it has its benefits, but it also has its cons too. So.
Is there a certain type of maybe person or lifestyle that hair extension would not work for?
Yes, there are. There are tons of people that hair extensions cannot work for. I have seen every case there is, and I mean, and God knows, and I do not make up stories. I only talk about stuff that I know. And I have had men come to me, I've had women come to me, and they just were not good candidates. They had already, like, their scalp and hair was already so damaged that you can't put extensions on top of damaged goods. You have to have something to work with. So I always tell people that aren't good candidates for it, like, you shouldn't do it, and they'll do it anyway. They'll say put some tape extensions up there anyway, and so you just let people. I mean, if that's your biggest, if that's what you want to do, then do it. So.
Mm-hmm. Is there a treatment or something for those people who do have that level of damage to their hair? Is there something they can do to help it grow out to where they would be eligible to be a good candidate for hair extensions?
Well, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, not a hair replacement, person.
Mm-hmm.
That's more on the hair replacement side. So they could go to like a dermatologist, and they could talk to them about having like a transplant done, or something like that, or having some type of non-topical type of treatment where they could put on there maybe to massage and stimulate the follicle and help the papilla to produce like some hair. But other than that, like they just would have to go see something a little bit more more than a hairstylist, or
Mm-hmm.
I mean like a cosmetologist.
Yeah,
they need to like a doctor or something for that. But I'm sure there is. I know that there are like transplants and different hair replacement services. I provide a non-surgical hair replacement service. So, and your insurance company, a lot of times, if you say, for instance, if you have lost your hair due to like some sort of cancer or something like that, a lot of insurances will pay for that. So
really?
you can get a claim. Yes, you can get a claim and make a claim, and then I'll give you the number for that claim, and then they'll pay for you to have a unit made.
Wow. I didn't even know that was something available for people.
Mm-hmm.
Learn something new every day.
Yep.
Is there a particular style or way of doing hair that's your favorite?
No. Mm-mm. I don't have a favorite. Mm-mm. So I guess because I just the lifestyle, the natural, the everyday look. I enjoy doing that. Just even with makeup, it's just natural, clean, fresh face, fresh hair type style.
And with the makeup, did that just become second nature to you because you were already doing hair, or what made you get into the makeup side of things?
Well, another hair and makeup artist friend of mine had a client in Nashville that was a she was a musician, and she needed her hair and makeup done, and she was in LA and she couldn't come to Nashville to do it, so she called me and asked me if I could do it. And this was in 2000 and this had to be in 2013. Yeah, I think this maybe was like 2013, 2014. And she asked me if I could do it, and I'm like, well, I really don't do makeup. And she was like, oh, you can do it. I'm like, I don't even have any makeup product. She told me everything to go get to start my little makeup kit and told me I could do it. And I went and did that lady's makeup, and when I went and did her hair, and it turned out so good. She loved it. And from there, I've been doing makeup.
Wow. That's amazing. It was just like, God
Well, I
saying,
mean,
I
I
know
always
you.
done my own makeup, but I never did, I've never, like, provided makeup for anyone else.
Yeah,
Just, so.
that's really cool. And
Mhm.
what kind of goals do you have for yourself this year?
Well, this year, my goals are just to really be patient with myself and put out, like, just keep staying diligent and staying persistent, and just see what this new season is going to bring, because I know I have like some great things coming up, and but it's like you have to continue to not push so hard that you are like overworking yourself and you get burnt out, or like you can't like go so slow that you're not like being seen or being heard. So you got to kind of have like this little flow, and just continue to just put out this little have like a flow, so that you can kind of just keep it going, because it's a lot of work. So I've got a lot of things that I write down. I mean, I can't tell you like my what I got going on, but it's just stuff. I've got all type of stuff coming up the pike, down the pike, however you say it.
That's amazing. And if someone
Yeah.
wants to work with you, learn more about you, what you do, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on, I guess, IG. My handle is my name, Denikka Danyell. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's what is my handle? My handle is beauty by underscore Denikka, and that's Denikka, one N and two K's. So
Fantastic.
beauty by underscore Denikka. Yep.
And I will put that in the show notes. I know you're very busy. I appreciate your
Yes.
time so much.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank you for
sharing.
having. You are
Yes.
you
You,
are awesome for doing this. For people. This is good.
well,
It's good.
thank you. And I'm really looking forward to sharing your story, to have you as someone who started at 15 and now you work with the biggest names in the industry is really impressive and says a lot about your willingness to put in the hard work and your willingness to recognize that you have an amazing talent and gift and you're sharing it with people so that they can look their best, feel their best and be successful.
Yes, indeed. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do it. So even though I've worked with the most prominent, like you say, figures and names in the world, I work with all types of people. So it's just not, it's not all about the celebrities. It's about everybody.
Mhm.
It's about being being just really what you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And you're helping those who come to you, whether they're a regular person off the street, you're still helping them feel amazing when they leave your chair and experience your kindness and your
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. I have to give back. It's a service, so I
Mm,
have to provide it to all, and I'm just grateful for the places and the people that it has taken me. Um, who have that it has allowed to come across my path.
yeah.
So it's just truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing.
Well, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Likewise, Lucretia, and um, much success and happiness and peace and blessings to you all.
You're such a gift.
Thank you.
That's it with Denikka. And for someone who has worked with big name celebrities and has a successful career that continues to grow, she is truly a sweet, kind, and genuinely good person. Next week, we talk with Kristen Luna, a travel writer who shares her adventures and encourages freelancers on her blog, Camels and Chocolates.
So we had a little, a what do we call it? Like the bloggerati of just people who all had just like lifestyles blogs. And my blog kind of started out being more lifestyles in nature, and then eventually I homed in on doing travel and food. But then things have changed so much over the years, and I've gone more to a general lifestyles blog again. I mean, definitely travel is the main focus, but I write about home renovation. I write about career topics. Two of my most popular posts of all time are how to build a hot tub out of a stock tank and how to build a dog ramp for $30. And those were both pandemic projects Scott and I just did in our living room because, we weren't going anywhere, and he is worse than I am about not being able to sit still. So he's constantly wanting to create things. And so,
Hey, thanks for listening to Journey to the Rise. Please do follow us on your podcast app so you have the latest episode downloaded. If you want to follow us on Instagram, our account is at Journey to the Rise Podcast. This episode was researched, produced, and edited by Girl Boss Productions. And remember to be kind to yourself. When you are kind to you, it is easier to be kind to others. I'm Lucretia, and you've been listening to Journey to the Rise.